Hey there, good afternoon everybody, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here with our show that we do every Sunday, which is called This Week. Basically, it's a show that basically talks about the content for this week mainly. That's the priority here. I also talk about stuff that's going to happen in the future. Maybe there might be a series that's coming up that might overlap a couple weeks. In this case, there is. And sometimes I go into the past and talk about stuff that maybe didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to, or maybe requires an explanation, or maybe needs further details about it. So this week there isn't anything like that. I didn't miss anything this week, which is sometimes a first. However, so we're just going to get right to it fairly quickly here. I don't want to drag this out too long. So I'll have my 7 regular episodes this week, plus I'm doing another series which will start Wednesday. And I'm also going to attempt to do a live stream. At this point in time, I would say that it's probably going to be at noon Eastern Standard Time here in North America on the Saturday, next Saturday that is. If there's a change to it, I'll try and announce it. I might have to make a separate video for that, but at this point that's where it is. It's just dependent on work. Work is always a problem, but we have to work around it, right? And no puns intended, by the way. So anyways, this first episode is this week, of course, the one we're doing, and then the next episode will come Sunday night, tonight. Ben's album challenge, and Ben has chosen an album for me. We actually switched it because the album he originally chose to me I'm going to use for What's New next week. So the one he did give me for today is from Billy Thorpe, and the album is called Children of the Sun. I know absolutely nothing about this band or group or this artist or group, whatever, artist or album, whatever the case may be, but I will be listening to the album probably after I'm done this video. That's my plan anyways. Okay, so the next show that usually comes out is Monday nights. Look back at a classic rock album. This week I've chosen an album that I now feel I've grown fairly familiar with. I really love the cover of this album. There's some really heavy, great riffing on this album. This is a band I've long been listening to, probably goes back to the early 80s, and maybe have known about them since the mid-70s, but really started listening to them more or less in the 80s. A band I've liked a few tracks from, but never really pursued them as an album band, if that makes any sense to you. So me, there's stuff that I heard on the radio I liked, and I listened to them, but until I actually bought an album from them, they just didn't become that band that was part of my normal universe. And the band we're talking about, of course, is Nazareth, and we're going to talk about arguably their best album, Hair of the Dog. There's great art on it, fantastic art on it. I think this is great, and I've grown to like this album quite a bit. There's a couple of tracks on here I absolutely adore, so they will be the classic look back at a classic rock album for Monday night, Nazareth's Hair of the Dog. So the next episode up for this week will be metal, which alternates with What's New. So this time around it's metal. I decided to go with a band that I listened to on a couple of episodes by Bryce Knows Metal, and I thought, you know what, he knows a little bit about this band and he likes them, so I'm going to give them a chance here. And it's actually a one-person band, really. It's the band's called Hell Ripper. It's one guy that plays everything. Of course, he doesn't tour and play everything. He has other musicians with him. So I'm going to give them a try for this week's metal. They'll be the metal band. Okay, so the next episode up comes on Wednesday night, and it's the long-awaited final stage of those my favorite bands from different countries. So I started out doing the Canadian one, and I did the American one, which I probably could have done more with, but I didn't, so I was fairly new to it. Then I did the British one, I did the European one, and now we're going to do my 15 favorite Australian bands. So that will be the one we're doing this week, and then this is going to be a kind of a two-parter. The following episode will be 10 one-hit wonders from Australia. So it's kind of a two-parter, kind of linking them together anyway. So that will be what I'm doing for favorites this week. Then we get to the Forward Champion, which will be going off this week. So we have at this point in time, I have a fairly close battle between Black Sabbath's Born Again and Led Zeppelin 4. I thought Led Zeppelin would probably win this fairly easily, but I've underestimated the Born Again before, and I won't do it again. To me, it's a fantastic album, and if it comes down to it, I may have to put the final cast on here. But the album they'll be taking on next week, whichever one wins, will be taking on Jethro Tull's Stand Up. That will be the challenger next week for the upcoming event. So the next show out of the gate, Monster Hits, of course, we're now up to 1984. This seems to be going pretty good. I've actually enjoyed doing this now that I've got kind of in a rhythm of where to find my stuff and how to look it up and how to make sure that it was released in that year, because sometimes they'll put stuff down for 1984 and you go back and you actually look, and even though the album that the song came off was released in that year or whatever year it was, sometimes it might have been the third single and it might end up in the following year. So you got to be careful about that. I don't think I've made any mistakes recently, but I did early on. But anyway, so we'll be doing the year 1984 for Monster Hits on Friday. Saturday is tentatively the live stream, and it's basically going to be a talk about questions, discussion, whatever you want to call it. And the topic I've chosen for the first inaugural live stream, called Let's Talk About, which is what it's called, is going to be about, yes, are they the best prog band ever? That's going to be the topic. I hope this doesn't create any animosity. It's not meant to. I've always thought of Yes as being the pinnacle of progressive rock, but are they indeed the best prog band of all time? So that will be the topic this week on this live stream, which I'm going to present as Let's Talk About. That's going to be the name of it. Okay, there will be one additional episode put out, and I'm not sure where it's going to fit in. I will fit it in somewhere. It's not a regular show. It's not something I normally do. I've done this. It's called Recent History Albums. I think the last one I did is more than a year ago, though. So I decided that this one, since it doesn't fit into the look back at a classic rock album because it's newer than 15 years, and it doesn't really fit into the new albums because it's older than the year that I usually do new releases based on the year of. So this one is called Warbler Hinterland. This is an album I quite like a lot, and I feel it needs to have something done about that, but it doesn't fit into those other two. So I'm going to dig up this thing that I haven't done for over a year called Recent Album Releases, and this was released, I believe, in 2015. So it's getting there. It's about 8 years old now, so deserves to be talked about, though. So it will be on that list. The next thing up we're going to talk about is the series. So I got another series. This is only going to be a 5-parter. It'll start on Wednesday, finish on Sunday. There won't be any honorable mentions, and you'll know why as soon as I start talking about it. So this series is going to be called My Favorite Bands That Have Family Issues. That's what I'm calling it. And once I start talking about the band, you'll know what I'm talking about. So this is in no particular order, by the way. These are not going to be. Maybe they will be released in the order I'm doing. Maybe they'll be shuffled around. I'm not sure how it's going to be. But one of the bands will be Yes. Family issues, well, yes. Do they have family issues? I would suggest they have plenty. The next one, of course, is the big family issue. Pink Floyd, The Wall. Well, not The Wall, but Pink Floyd is going to be one of the bands. Of course, Kiss has the most dysfunctional family in the history of rock, I think. We'll be talking about them. Judas Priest. Do they have family issues? Maybe. Have at least one family member that they're not pleased with, but we will talk about that as well. And lastly, but not least, Styx. To me, there's really no issue here, but some people are still persistent that there's an issue, so we'll talk about that. Styx is a band I love. This is one of my favorite of their albums. Probably after their early to their mid albums in 1980s. This is probably my favorite Styx album since about 1978 overall. So from 1980 until now, this is probably my favorite Styx album. Deserves to be there too. It's a great album. Belongs in with the classics. Okay, so those are the 5 bands we're going to be doing. I'm basically going to talk about their particular family issue. And the other thing I want to talk about is, should these bands, if they were to heal their family issues, should that all go back together and will that make them a better band? Won't it make them a better band? Would it be better if they stayed separated? Would it not be? And you'll get all kinds of arguments from both sides of the coin. We're just here to discuss it since it seems to be popular topics. I chose these particular 5 bands. I know there's tons of other bands you could have chosen. I chose these 5 because they're all in my top 20 bands, all 5 of them. And they're the ones I know the most about. So it makes the sense, as I've learned, to talk about stuff you know something about. There's no point in talking about stuff that you're just speculating on. So anyways, that will be the series for this week coming, starting Wednesday. I'll put them in an order that makes sense to me. And then we'll be discussing those basic topics. And maybe other topics will be thrown in as well. At this point in time, I haven't really 100% decided, but I think I'll stick with the 2 main ones. What is the issue? And if the issue was overcome, would it be better to live as a family again or stay separated? We'll find out. Anyways, I hope you will enjoy that. The next things up that I think bear kind of talking about a bit is what's going to come up in the future. Where are we going with any of this? That kind of stuff. I have nothing in the works to do any kind of live shows like you see so often on the internet, at least on the YouTube and on shows that are like-minded, like mine. I still don't feel I'm quite ready to make that jump, but I'm going to start by doing this live stream, and then we'll see how that goes. Also, we will be doing another series for the month of December, a monthly series. Actually, we'll be doing one for November as well, but the November one, I haven't really, it's between 2 different things that I'm trying to decide which one I want to do the most. So one of those 2, and one I know for sure, I'll let you know, will be the month of November. And then the month of December, I promised to Ben, since he helped me so much with the other Prog War, he's going to dictate this next series, which is going to come out in December. And he's picked a really interesting topic. So we're going to be doing another battle, and this time the battle is going to be between progressive solo artists. Not necessarily people that have been solo and stay solo, but band members who've done solo albums. That's basically what it is. And he's given me some really good stuff here. I think this will be very interesting. And he's given me the battles. One of the battles I'm a little concerned about, but other than that, I think it'll be an interesting series, and that will come in December. December makes the most sense for me for this because those band battles take the most time of anything on this channel that I've done, and so they require more time, and you usually have more time at Christmas, so at the Christmas month, so it'll be a good time to do it, to end the year. And overall, I want to thank everybody for supporting my channel and watching my videos. Without you guys, I'm just basically a guy talking to air here. So I do enjoy doing this quite a bit. I do appreciate the people who subscribe to my channel, because that motivates me to do more stuff. And for people that make comments, really important too. I can't tell you how much times I've been corrected by stuff that I've said that wasn't right, which is good because I like to be accurate, or by people who show an interest in something I've shown interest. That encourages me to do more as well. So please make whatever comments you want to make. You can make suggestions for shows too, and I may not do them directly the way you say it, but I may incorporate them into something. But I will listen to whatever you say, and if it makes sense for the channel, I will attempt to do it if I can. Anyways, please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. And we have now started the second, is this the second? No, I think this is the third week of October already. So we're into the third week of October. I'm hoping for a great week with another great series. So have yourself a good day, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye.